It's a weekend of racing action ahead of Royal Ascot. We're going to try and fill those pockets ahead of the big Royal meeting next week. As always, Frankie and Jason have joined me. 3 meetings to look forward to at the Roman cities of York and Chester, and I've got a couple of races at Sandown as well. But this week, Jason, it's all about, well, obviously finding a few winners, but boosting that Betty bank ahead of 5 brilliant days at the Royal meeting.
Yeah, no, a lot has been said, hasn't it, about the way the meeting starts. And I think that the opening day is one of the biggest, one of the best starts to any meeting. You know that we've sort of stretched it out a little bit. We've got the added on races that are starting to become the norm, the Palace of Holyrood and such, because everybody wants a royal winner. But what an opening day. That is the way to start a meeting in your top hat and tails.
It certainly is, and Frankie will be looking forward to all of us being there in our top hat and tails. It's about getting a few winners, and I'd say a 5-1 winner at York or Chester this week will pay the same as a 5-1 winner at Royal Ascot next week.
Certainly, Matt, it's always nice to go into 5 days of racing when you know you're going to be watching, having a bet with a few quid in your back pocket from finding a winner over the weekend. And there's some good racing. There's some nice horses to look forward to on Saturday. And 5-1 winner's a 5-1 winner anywhere, isn't it?
It certainly is, and I tell you what, they don't make it easy at York, do they? Always attract big fields. That's where we're going to start. 4 races in front of the ITV cameras to look forward to. We start at 150 with this 7 furlong handicap. A big field down the chute, Jason, 15, and as always on the Knavesmire, a wide open handicap kicking us off.
Yeah, I think there'll be plenty of pace on in here. It's always a race that is run at a decent tempo. I quite like the angle in that some of the bigger yards are giving the young apprentices an opportunity to get a big televised winner. Young Liam Wright, now you'll know that he rode a good few winners for Darrell Holland. He's now switched across to the Simon and Ed Crisford team, and they're giving him a couple of opportunities. He rides Telemark, who put up a good performance behind Mayal at Chester. Now, he went forward, and all right, you couldn't say that he was in a bad position being up in the van, but the winner, the second, the third, they were all just slightly off that early gallop. I think he's still got a bit of wriggle room from where he is at the moment. He's by a fantastic sire. Just maybe he's heading up into triple digits, and the £5 off will help.
He's an interesting one. He had a good turn last year. It depends which bedside of Betty gets out of the thing, but it wasn't eye-catching run at Chester when you were there, Frank. Are you side with the top weight, or were you going elsewhere?
He definitely made my notes. I'm like Joel Ross today. Look, my laptop's broken, so I've been going old school with pen and paper. Telemark, I think he'll run a big race. I try not to talk about Chester horses too much because I find myself following that form religiously. But it has been working out recently, hasn't it, over with the Betfred Derby and Oaks. But he made the list. I like the Diligent Resdev for the Easterbees. Joe Mason will ride. She's in a good bit of form as well herself. Got hiked up in the weights at the end of last season for winning up at Ayr. And although that stopped him winning so far this year, he has been third, fifth, third. So he's been consistent enough, was well back last time out and potentially slightly unlucky. Back to York where he's won before. Just think he's a consistent sort who should go well.
Yeah, you mentioned the Easterbees, Jason. Just a quick word on the sad loss this week of one of the patriarchs of the Easterby dynasty, Peter Easterby.
Yeah, an absolute gentleman. I can remember being lucky enough to get legged up on one or two of them. Always just had a super calm nature. Don't underestimate that or mistake that for an incredibly sharp business brain and ability to take everything in. But he was a wonderful man, and it was that nature about him when you talked to him or you were around him with the horses that he just sort of gave you that bit of confidence as a rider going out there. You felt comfortable, and that was an amazing asset from him. 1,000, the first to do 1,000 on the flat and over jumps.
Yeah, it's incredible. He'll be remembered at York this weekend, and it kind of brings me to the story of Mick Easterby, because we've got the amateur race, the Queen Mother's Cup for the female amateur riders, of course, where you win, you'll wait in champagne afterwards. And old Mick, when he won, it was trying to stick lead in the choppers of the winning rider, trying to get more champagne on the scales. Jace, what's going to win this year? And if it is to be Tim Easterby, well, the Easterby's once again up to their old tricks.
Yeah, on that note, Francesca Comani, who's won this, I think, on one or two occasions, she always tells the story of all the girls in the weighing room were shoving lead inside her boots and everything. I mean, she's only a little whippet of a thing anyway. She came out about 14 stone getting onto the scales. So, yeah, just trying to get a few extra champagnes in the back corner. Shut up, dog. Anyway, Chillingham is the one at the top with the visor on who interests me. Now, he's got some good form around here. He's another one. Does he always put his best foot forward? So the team have reached for the visor. He's top weight for a reason. And I think that when you're coming into a race like this, it's always good not to have had too many prep runs. He's had one little sharpener up at Musselburgh and he's ready to go. Again, there'll be a strong pace on. Top weight for a reason.
Yeah, Becky Smith, excellent pilot as well. Frankie, what for wins the Queen Mother's Cup for you?
Well, like Maglark, who was second at York last time out, Adrian Keeley does a pretty good job with these dual-purpose horses. Jodie Townend, champion female rider on board, and a nice performance last time out, which hopefully he can back up and go one better. Maybe just hit the front a touch too early, and the winner had the advantage of having him to hunt down on the front end. So, yeah, I think Maglark should go well.
Okay, class will out then the Queen Mother's Cup for these two. And then it's all about looking forward to the Ebor here. That's the big meeting in August. But we've got the Grand Cup, one of these Race the Ebor contests, a listed race over the Ebor track and trip. Only 6 go to post though, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the prices, you know, there was nothing between Al Kareem and Absurd last time. I suppose we got a slight little wriggle as far as the weights are concerned because he's got the £5 penalty but because of race conditions, I think he only carried or had to give away £3 when he bumped into Absurd last time. So Absurd slightly better off at the weights. Danny Tudhope takes the ride this time round. You can just see him sort of coming through. I mean, look, obviously with Al Sakib in there for the Balding, James Doyle combo, he's going to be very, very hot towards the top of the market. But surely Absurd. He looked all over the winner at Chester, didn't he? Coming through. I'm doing it again, Frankie. We're relying on the Chester form coming forward. But Danny Tudhope, he'll time his run to perfection. He's one of the best around here.
And a 4-ball winner. But we were talking not just the Betfred Oaks and Derby last week, Frankie. Chester form did come to the fore at Epsom on more than a couple of occasions.
It did, yeah. It's been paying to follow, hasn't it? And I'm sure we'll get onto it on our Royal Ascot show, Jace. There's a good bit of Chester form that we've almost spoke about this show, haven't we? One of the handicaps. I Absurd, what a super horse. I mean, what a horse to own. He turns up all the big festivals, flat hand jumps, and has taken them all over the shop. For me, I'm going to just go with Al Sakib at the prices. He ran a good race behind top-class horses last time out. I mean, Rebels Romance, the globe-trotting winner, who was only sort of a length and a half behind Rebels Romance. Sweet William was in there. That was a classy race, and I just think that this might be a touch easier for Al Sakib. So I would have had him slightly shorter in the betting when I looked this morning, and probably more of a three-way challenge at the top of the market than him being the outsider of the three. So, yeah, I'm going to side with Al Sakib.
Okay, from the stayers to the sprinters, then 22 stretched across the names by these 3-year-olds. We could probably run this 20 times and get 19 different winners. Just one of those typical all-out action sprints, Jason. But I know you absolutely love them, and I know you'll have a couple at prices.
Well, the main one of the bunch has got to be Showering. Now, he's an each-way price. I think he's up there around about 16s, 18s, 20s, somewhere around there. Got the job done at Yarmouth last time, was a handful. Keen early, never really going, flew home late in the day. He's from the family of Brewing, rated 106. Cold Front 106, Enticing, all that family that the Haggis team know incredibly well. So there's every reason to think that a mark of 89 underestimates him. He's got some seriously rough edges. But at the prices, I think he's a massive performer, and just a possibility that Loom will run a little bit better than he did last time. Really good performance behind the man. He then didn't produce his best back here, but they put the hood on this time to try and get him to switch off a little bit in the early stages. They'd be 2 against the field. The main one, though, got to be Showering. He's got rough edges, but a family that the team know so well.
Okay, 2 against the field, then Showering and Loom for Jason. Frankie, we got you?
I can see you, but I can't hear you. But from
Enjoy
your
the
laughing, I'm guessing
technology.
you can hear me. I mean, we'll see how we get on with this for a second. But I like fast track carry. He's unexposed. I mean, you said we could run this a couple of times, Matt, and get a different winner every time. But maybe fast track Harry is just the one that is unexposed in here. By Harry Angel, of course, a super sprinter for Clive Cox, and potentially one that might just come out the pack as something quite exciting after, I think, just his 3 starts thus far. So fast track Harry, I take a chance at an each way price that he could be something quite handy.
Okay then, yeah, it's one of them races, 3 different selections as you would expect in such a big field handicap. Right, Jason, I think Frankie, we lost his audio. Yeah, still no Frankie. 205 Sandown then, the 2 in front of the ITV cameras. This one, a mile handicap. Again, not making it easy to get some winners, are they, ahead of Royal Ascot?
Well, when you see certain trainers and you think that they're improving, they're getting better at their job. I go back to Andrew Baldwin when he set off, and now look at him, he's at the top of the pack. I think that Jack Shannon is really, really improving as a trainer. And Urban Lion ran a super race in the Spring Cup at Newbury. He's a low mileage improver, just 7 starts all told, and he's managed to win on a couple of occasions. Now, the assessor gave him a slight nudge from that Newbury effort. I think that he's still got a little bit of improvement in him, and he's been kept back. Surely he's had a couple of entries between here and there, and a mark 63 days away from the track. I think that he's a real interesting contender. And as I said, Jack Shannon really improving in the training ranks.
He had a really good start to the season, Jack Shannon, didn't he? And he's kept that form up as well. Urban Lion then for Jason.
I'm back. I
He's
can hear
back.
you.
He's back with us, yeah. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing where you can hear us or not. Right, 205 Sandown then. A couple at Sandowns, I say, on the ITV, in front of the ITV camera. Jason likes Urban Lion. Where are you going?
I feel like I've probably said this before. I feel like a lot of people have said they fancy Classic in a handicap before. He seems to always get the right jockey booking, be relatively fancied, run an okay race, but doesn't win that often, although he was second, I think, in this race last year by a short neck. So his mark is slowly coming down. Ryan Moore's booked. He ran well last time out of Newbury, was 4th in a race that My Cloud won, who probably is a nice horse on the up as well. So that bit of form sort of mixed with him in maybe coming down to a workable mark and running well at the track before. Maybe it's finally his time to win.
Okay, yes, Classic. Then you're right, he's one of those cliff horses. Then we've got the Scurry Jace over the Flying 5 furlongs for the thrills. Hopefully the dead 8 do go to post. We've got a couple of 100 rated rivals in here.
There'll be nothing each way about the selection in here. Ryan Moore has come back in and said he got it wrong twice on Star of Memas. Posted out in the car park at Chelmsford, pushed the button and the accelerator, and the choke was out too early at York last time. He doesn't get it wrong very often, Ryan Moore. He keeps the ride. He's back on board for Husey. He does have to overcome stall number 2. The stalls will be on the far side up the middle of the sprint track, but it's a small field. There's just 8 runners. It's not like there's miles, is there, from one to the other. He'll pop. He'll get half a bit of a lead. I think she's the class of the field. Ryan won't get it wrong 3 times in a row, I hope.
Well, surely not. This is Ryan Moore. He very rarely gets it wrong at all, as we know so well. Can't get it wrong 3 times, though. Surely gets it right, Frankie.
No, Ryan might not get it wrong, but obviously she's still got to be good enough to win. I'm going to side with Cote de Casa. She's a speedy filly. She'll appreciate the quick ground. It is her first start back. They were going to start her back over in Longchamp, I think it was, in a Group 3, but have opted for this instead. And I'm hoping she can, I'd say, kind of pick up where she left off. She was slightly in and out last season, but at her best, she's got a lot of speed about her, and I hope she goes well for Harry Davis.
Okay, Coach of the Cars, to give that weight away in the Scurry. Then we'll go to Chester. We can mention all the form that we have from Chester that's just been working out of late. Frankie, you'll be there. I'll start with you then for this 320. Frankie's Dream obviously catches the eye. I'm sure that'll be popular for all your fans. Holly Doyle in the Juddmonte Silks for Andrew Baldwin, also an eye-catching booking.
Yeah, interesting combination that, isn't it? One that you don't see too often. Frankie's Dream actually provided a stag do, a winner in the lucky last at York when he won last time, because a mate of mine just threw it out there as I'll back that, and about 10 lads on a stag ended up backing it and getting 600 or 700 quid for the kitty out in York. So whatever bar they ended up in, I'm probably to blame. I think it'll go all right again, to be honest.
ran a good race at York. I thought Milford looked like he'd be in with half a chance. Stall 5's not ideal, but it's not horrendous. Was third at York last time on his second start for Julie Camacho. And obviously when you get a yard change, sometimes it takes him a little bit of time to settle in. Went off a huge price in a handicap on his first start. And then, like I said, ran well last time. So maybe getting into the swing of things at his new home and could go well here.
Okay, there are Milford then for Frankie. Jason?
Got to be Frankie's dream, hasn't it? Come on, lads. It's got to be. Do you know, the way he managed to win last time at York was remarkable. We all know it's a speed favouring track. He was very, very keen. He possibly got a really good ride from Hector Crouch. But, you know, the excellent George Wood takes over. That team, Jenny Candlish, has had a remarkable season. I mean, this lad has gone from a rating of 50 all the way to 80. And so you look at those and you think, surely not going to climb again. But to overcome a pace bias at York in a big field, 22 runners, what's he been given? Is he up? Was looking, £4. That's all he's been given. A little rap over the knuckles from the assessor. Fair draw, going to get a nice pace to run at. There's lots to like about him. I think he'll go again.
Frankie's dream then. Brilliant. Right. That's the 7 races on the ITV cameras. As I always say, please like, subscribe this channel. We'll get to you, notify you when there is a new episode. Also, of course, we'll have a Royal Ascot preview show as well coming out very shortly. So make sure you like, subscribe, and you get to know when that is. And the boys will try and point you in the direction of a few winners. And you'll hear from us every single day next week at the Royal meeting as well. What were your best bets on the card this week? We'll start with you, Jason.
I think I mentioned Star of Memas. She's short, isn't she? You know, towards the top of the market. At the price, I think she'll go and win. I'll probably double her up with Urban Lion. I mentioned Jack Shannon. He's a trainer going places. And the fact that he didn't take up any of his entries, 63 days away from the track, he's waited for a half-decent pot of money. Urban Lion looks like he's been aimed here. Low mileage improver.
There we are, then a couple at Sandown. Frankie?
I'm really torn. I fancy them both. I think Classic will run a big race, but I'm probably going to stick with Al Saqib. Take on the big boys, Absurd and Al Kareem. Just like how we went last time out, but behind some nice horses, this might be easier.
There we are then.
That's in the 3 o'clock at York.
There we go. Yes, in the Grand Cup in the race to the Ebor. All right, cheers to the boys. We've got Royal Ascot preview show to look forward to. Fingers crossed you pick up some winners to boost our betting bank ahead over at Royal Ascot. Like, subscribe this channel. As I say, you're the first to know when there's a new episode. And the best of luck whenever you're back in this weekend.